Been thinking about the beautiful blue water and the common waves in the Caribbean lately? So have I. So I was recently down in Mexico to look for an investment property on the water. And in this episode, I am going to share what I learned about buying a beachfront property in Mexico and the important things you should be aware of. Let's dive in. So in this episode, we're going to talk about things you should know when purchasing a beachfront property in Mexico. So when purchasing a beachfront property, you will be dealing with what is known as the restricted zone. This zone includes areas within 50 kilometers or 31 miles of the coast, as well as 100 kilometers from a border. So number one, let's talk about bank trust. So to acquire properties in the restricted zone, foreigners can use a bank trust, or a new word that I just learned, fideicomiso. Or another way is by creating a Mexican corporation. Today, we won't go into detail about these options, but the fideicomiso is similar to a land trust in the United States. And it is important to note that the bank trust must be renewed every 50 years. Second thing that I learned is about financing options. So let's talk about financing options. They don't exist. If you know of one, please leave it in the comment below. We'd love to learn about it. So with that said, I'm sorry for this interruption. I've been asked a lot about passive investment. And let's be real, there is nothing passive about being a landlord unless you have a really good property management company. So if you own an Airbnb or a short-term rental and you want to get back your time, please give our team at Buzz Vacation Rental a call at 281-549-8432. or go to our website at pm.buzzvacationrentals.com. Now back to the Real Estate Ballers show. You can get financing through the sellers or the developers. So if you are looking at new constructions like what I was doing, they will require typically about 10 to 20% down at contract signing, and then maybe another 10-15% down at groundbreaking, and then some more percentage down as you go. So more money over a period of time, and then your final payment is due at delivery. So got to come up with the cash. Another item that's worth noting is the notary, or notario público. I hope my Spanish was good. So unlike the United States, the notary in Mexico is appointed by the state governor and must be an attorney with at least 5 years of experience. The notary will conduct a title search, prepare the necessary paperwork, process the real estate transactions, collect taxes and fees. So keep in mind that people in Mexico speak Spanish. So every document you see will be in Spanish. You can get the English or, your language translation, but do keep in mind that in case of any discrepancy, the Spanish version of documents supersedes other languages. Hey, if you like what I'm sharing so far, can I get a thumbs up? And don't forget to hit that subscribe button too. Now, let's talk about closing costs, which typically range about 4 to 6%. These costs include a 1.5% notary fee, a 2% transfer tax, the fideicomiso setup fees, and may also include the annual maintenance fee of the bank trust or the fideicomiso. So it is crucial to ensure that all taxes, mortgages, and outstanding balances on the property are paid, as these charges will become your responsibility as the new owner if they are not settled. Okay, so it's important. Okay, so now let's talk about what happened when you sell. And I just learned this as well. When you sell you will incur some expenses. And they are real estate commission, capital gains, and some other miscellaneous costs. So real estate commissions typically range from 6% to 10% of the sale price, and with an additional 16% IVA, Impuesto al Valor Agregado, tax on top of it, okay? So IVA is a tax that applies to most goods and services sold or rendered in Mexico. And then the next cost would be your the capital gain taxes. When it comes to capital gain taxes, they are either 25% without deductions or 35% minus eligible deductions. So it is important to note that capital gains are calculated in peso, okay? And you can apply for the deduction by becoming a Mexican resident. The other thing you need to note is that you should make sure to keep records, receipts of all property improvements so that you can apply the deduction towards, against your capital gain to reduce the amount of tax that you have to pay. And lastly, part of the expenses when you sell would also be the cost to close out your bank trust. Now, some other things that I've learned was in the US, a lot of laws are centered around lawsuit, right? There's no lawsuit in Mexico, so the law works differently. For example, I was looking at some of the condos and they don't have the fire alarm or sprinkler system, right? They do, however, have the water hose on every floor. So that's something you want to know. Second important thing that I learned is that when you buy into these high-rise or condos, there is an HOA fee. And what you should know when you consider buying is that some residents would not pay their fee. And therefore, if you look at an existing structure, you should look around to see how well the amenities are maintained and quiz them about how they enforce this policy on collecting the HOA. Because if they don't get the HOA, they cannot upkeep the area, and over time, your condo will, decrease in value. So those are my 2 cents. Well, best of luck to you in finding your own paradise in Mexico. We hope that this video has been helpful and inspiring. For more content like this, please hit that subscribe button now. By subscribing to our channel, you will stay up to date with real estate investing tips and strategies that we learn. By the way, let us know in the comment below if there are other topics that you want to learn about. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.